Hello, this is the first part of the video series on simultaneous equations. So in this video series, we are going to look at different ways of solving simultaneous equation. So the word simultaneous means at the same time. So it means you have two equations at this stage and that you want to solve together. And you want to find the solution that satisfies both equations. Now, there are about three methods that we are going to look at. In the first part of the video, we'll look at the first method, which is the elimination method. In the second part, we look at the substitution method of solving simultaneous equations. And in the third part, we look at a graphical method for solving simultaneous equations. So in this video, we look at elimination method. So there are three methods we'll be looking at: elimination, substitution, and graphical method. So by elimination method, we want to find a way to eliminate one of the unknowns such that we can find the second unknown. For example, if we have x and y in the simultaneous equation, we want to find a way to get rid of one of them. It could be the x, it could be the y. So if you get rid of the x, you can find the y. Then whatever you get as a y, you substitute it into one of the equations to get the value of x. And for substitution, you make one of the unknown the subject of the formula, then you substitute the equation you get into the other equation to solve for the unknowns. Then in graphical method, you plot the equations on a graph. So if you have two linear equations, you have two straight lines, and the point of intersection of the lines will give you the solution to the simultaneous equation. Okay, so let's look at the first method, elimination method. So what are the tips that you need to follow? What are the tips that could help you master elimination method? Because at the end of this video, you should be able to solve any question on simultaneous equation. Now, elimination. There are two steps I'll give that will help you. One is that if the coefficients are not the same, if the coefficients of the any of the unknowns are not the same, you try to make them the same. So if the coefficients of any of the unknowns are not the same, in both equations, make them equal by multiplying by appropriate numbers. So we'll put it that way. Then the second step will be that you eliminate or get rid of the unknown you want to eliminate using appropriate sign. Okay, so let's see. What do I mean by appropriate sign? If the variable you want to eliminate, let's say you have ax and you have let's say a1x, you have a2x. If the coefficient of the coefficient of x in this first one is a1 and the coefficient of x in the second one is a2. If the signs are the same, let's say you have plus plus, then you have to eliminate using minus. If the signs are the same, you eliminate with minus, basically. So even if you have minus a1x, and you also have minus a2x, I'm just using x as an example. This could be y as well. Then you have to use minus as well to eliminate. That's the only way you can cancel the x in the equations. But if the signs are different, let's say you have plus a1x and you have minus a2x in the equation, then you have to use plus to eliminate. So that's the only way you can cancel the unknowns. So, okay, sorry, this has to be the same. The coefficient has to be the same now. I will assume that you've made them the same. A, yeah. You've made them the same already. So that you can cancel. Yeah, A. Okay. So if you do this, when you have plus ax, then minus plus ax, this will give you 0 to cancel. This one, we have minus, it will also cancel because minus ax minus ax. So minus times minus will give you plus, then you have minus ax plus ax, which is 0. So that's why this one will cancel. So if you have plus in one of the coefficient and you have minus in the other, you have to use plus, which means if you have opposite sign, you add. So it's not because plus ax plus minus ax will give you, this will give you minus ax, which is 0. So which is 0, which is what you want. So what you want to do is actually to make sure that the variable cancels. Then this table will help you. Let me just say sign in equations, sign to use to eliminate. We put it that way. So if you have plus and plus, you use minus. If you have minus and minus, you use minus. If you have plus and minus, you use plus. And if you have minus and plus, you use plus. So that's the only way you can eliminate the variable. Okay, let's look at some examples. Example 1. Okay, let me just examples. Solve the simultaneous equations. I'll give you 3 examples and we'll solve them one by one. 1, you have 3x plus 5y equals minus 11. 3x minus 4y equals minus 2. This is 1. Then the second one, you have 3m plus 4n equals 11. 2m plus 6n equals 9. And the third one is 10x minus 3y equals minus 14. 4x minus 5y equals minus 17. Okay, so let's solve the first one. The first one, you have 3x plus 5y equals minus 11. This is equation 1. Then 3x minus 4y equals minus 2. This is equation 2. Now, because you can see clearly that the coefficient of x is the same in both equations, then you don't have to do anything else than to just eliminate using the appropriate sign. So what sign are you going to use here? The coefficient of we are interested in eliminating x, and the coefficient of x is positive in both equations. So you use negative sign. If you have the same sign, plus, plus, you use minus. So now, if you use minus to eliminate, this becomes 0, because 3x minus 3x is 0. Then you have 5y, so I would advise you do it this way, 5y minus, then minus 4y. Don't forget that this minus belongs to 4y, then you have to keep it. Equals, then minus 11 minus 2. So you have to be careful here with the signs. Then 5y plus 4y minus and minus will give you plus equals minus 11 plus 2. Then you have 9y equals minus 9. Then you divide both sides by 9. Then you get y equals minus 1. Now that we have the value of y, we can get x by substituting the value of y into any of these equations. I can use equation 1, I can use equation 2 if I want. So let's say I want to use equation 1. In equation 1, so put y equals minus 1. So if you put y equals minus 1, you have 3x plus 5y equals minus 11. 3x plus 5 into minus 1 equals minus 11. 3x, so plus times minus will give you minus 5 times 1 is 5 equals minus 11. Then you have 3x equals minus 11 plus 5. 3x equals minus 6. Minus 11 plus 5 minus 6. Divide both sides by 3. And x will be minus 3. So you have x as minus 3 and y as minus 1. So you can check if this is correct by substituting these values into any of the two equations. This solution must satisfy both equations. By satisfy, I mean that I must have the same number on the right as on the left. So when I substitute these numbers into any of the equations. So let me check with the second equation. I want to substitute this into the second equation. So I'll have 3x minus 4y equals minus 2. If I put this here, I have to get minus 2 on the left. So 3 into minus 3 minus 4 into minus 1 equals minus 2. This will give you oh, sorry, there's an error here. This should be 2. You gotta figure that out. 2, and this will be minus 2 here. Sorry about that. Then this should be minus 2. Minus 2. So it should be minus 2. Okay. So that will give you minus 6 plus 4 equals minus 2. Then you have minus 2 equals minus 2. So that's correct. You can see that we have minus 2 on the left and minus 2 on the right. This shows that the solution is correct. Now let's look at another example. The second example, the question is 3m plus 4n equals 11, is equation 1, and 2m plus 6n equals 9, this is equation 2. Now in this equation, you can see that the coefficient of m are not the same. The coefficient of n2 are not the same. So we have to find a way to make sure that we have the same coefficient for either m or n, depending on which one you want to eliminate. So I would like to eliminate m first. So what do? I have to make sure that the coefficient of m here and the coefficient of m here is the same. And what do? I can multiply this by 2, by this coefficient here, and I can multiply the second one by 3. So if I do that, I'll have 6m here and I'll have 6m here, which is what I want. But these two, I have to use it to multiply everything in the equations, everything on this line. And these 3 multiplies everything on this line. So if I do that, I will have 6m plus 8n equals 22. And 6m plus 3 times 6 is 18, n equals 3 times 9 is 27. Okay, so which sign am I going to use to eliminate? Because I have the same coefficient now. So what is the sign? Plus, plus, because it's plus, plus, I have to use negative at the same time. So if I use minus there, that gives me 0. And I will have 8n minus plus 18n. let me put it that way, equals 22 minus 27. So 8n minus times plus is minus 18n equals 22 minus 27 is minus 5. So you have 8n minus 18n will give you minus 10n equals minus 5. Then you divide both sides by minus 10, and 1, 2, and n will be half. So what do? I substitute n equals half into, you have to use either of these equations, the original one preferred, into equation 2 this time. So I'll have 2m plus 6n equals 9. That's the original equation before I multiplied. Then 2m plus 6 into half equals 9. So 2m plus this 2 can cancel this. I'll give you 3 there. 3 times 1 is 3 equals 9. So 2m equals 9 minus 3. Let me finish it off here. 2m equals 9 minus 3 is 6, divided by 2. Then m equals 3. So we have n as half and m as 3. So that's the solution. You can check that too. See that it's correct. You see that it's correct. So let's look at another example, the third example, example 3. You have 10x minus 3y equals minus 14 is equation 1, and 4x minus 5y equals minus 17. 2. Now I want to eliminate y. Okay, so I want to make the coefficient of y the same. What do? I multiply this by 5, first equation by 5, and the second equation by 3. So if I do that, I will have 50x minus 15y equals minus 14 times 5, 70. Then 3 times 4 will give you 12. That's 12x minus 3 times 5 is 15 equals 17 times 3. 3 times 7 is 21. 51. So minus 51. Okay. So you have this. Now the coefficients are the same. So which sign am I going to use to eliminate? Minus and minus. So the same sign. Don't forget the rule. When you have the same sign, you subtract. Okay. So if I subtract here, I will have 50x minus 12x. Now, then this will give me 0 because minus 15y minus 15y will give me minus 15y plus 15y, which is 0, equals minus 70, then minus 51. So 50 minus 12x should give me 38x equals minus 70 plus 51. So 38x should be minus 70 plus 51. That should give 19. Yeah, minus 19. So we divide both sides by 38. So x will be, so I think I'm going here 1, I think I'm going here 2. So that should be minus half. So x is minus half. Then I can substitute the value of x into any of these equations. So if I substitute x equals minus half into equation 1, I'll have 10x minus 3y equals minus 14. So 10 into minus half minus 3y equals minus 14. So 2 can cancel this, 5. So we have minus 5 minus 3y equals minus 14. We transfer the minus 5 there, minus 3y equals minus 14 plus 5. Finish it out here. Minus 3y equals minus 14 plus 5 That should be -9. Divide both sides by -3. -3. So this cancels that, this cancels that, this cancels that, and this is 3. Y equals 3. Means x equals -half and y equals 3. Okay. So I hope that is clear now. Don't forget the rule. When you have the same sign, use negative to eliminate. When you have different sign, use positive addition to eliminate. All right, we'll stop there and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.